Hello, beautiful people. How are you guys doing once again? I'm so glad to be your midst as usual, okay? So, the news that's coming out of Ooni of Ife's palace at this time is the one that will really interest you, like I keep saying. For these few days that Ooni of Ife has been in Akure with his entourage, with some of his wives, with a lot of dignitaries, has been one special moment that a lot of Queen Naomi fans will always, want to remember for a long time to come. Okay, so what is coming out from the Ooni of Ife's palace at this time? Okay, maybe let's not say Ooni of Ife's palace, but from the Ooni of Ife's camp at Akure right now, because they have been having it like almost a 3 day long event starting from on the 9th. And from what I understand, I think if I'm not mistaken, it's going to climax today. He has been in Akure, commissioning, opening ceremonies here and there. So what is coming out at this moment is that former President Obasanjo and Rev.Esther Ajayi are said to be highly elated as the journey to the great reunion between our dear Kabiyesi and Queen Naomi eventually begins. Okay, I'm sure this title or this small intro will interest a lot of you, because I know this will resonate with a lot of you, because videos have been, plethora of videos are out there, showcasing the likelihood of this reunion happening. Okay, I know a lot of you have seen some of these videos, and yours sincerely did a report on this as well yesterday. Okay, so this is what is going on at this time. We are told that President Obasanjo, I hope you guys remember that name. He's our former president. He's a great a friend of the Ooni of Ife. Father of the nation at some time, and he's a great man. For those who know him very well, he's a great man. He has always been a great man. Anyway, so what we are hearing at this moment is that both of them extremely elated, especially looking at what happened yesterday, the event that transpired yesterday, which climaxed at that moment that Olori Naomi and Tadenika, entered the hall, and the whole hall was erupted in ecstasy, and the joy is so unbelievable, the joy that took place yesterday, and that is why they count this as a blessing, as the beginning of the great reunion. Okay, so Paropo, Esther Ajayi, OBJ, the governor of Ondo State, Deja Fakure, illustrious sons and daughters of Akure, all of them, have been gathering, each of these days, starting from on the 9th, like I reported, commissioning this, commissioning that, and it has been fun all the way. But like I keep saying, the highlight of all this commissioning, the opening, events and everything, is the fact that everyone can see that Olori, Queen Naomi and Tadenika are actually have actually become the cynosure of all eyes, because they have taken the center stage in this commissioning and opening ceremonies happening all over the place. And it was in one of these opening ceremonies, or opening a launching, or what you want to call it, that our former President Olusegun Obasanjo, made this comment, where he said, "May your shadow never go dim, and may God continue to expand your coast." He actually made that prayer after watching one of the videos displayed by Ooni of Ife, and how he was moved. He was moved emotionally to tears. He almost cried. He said it with his own mouth, that look, that what the Ooni of Ife is doing, kind of, moving to tears, because you see, if there's one man, we need to give this to Ooni of Ife. There's one man that has been helping in his own way, in his own little way, to reduce criminality in the land, to reduce unemployment in the land. You need to give it to him. KBC is a man who is gifted. He's a serial entrepreneur. He's an industrialist. He's a real estate guru. Even before he ascended the throne, and he has not even looked back after ascending the throne. Okay, so most of these things he does. Don't forget, real estate does not necessarily end and start and end with a physical building. or just land. It could be a land, a building, but the purpose of that building could be for other things, you know. So he's a serial businessman, and he's known for this. So Deja Akure, you know, who is a very close ally of KBC, must have influenced the granting of this large portion of land for the purposes, you know, that we are having today. This is a massive mega city. I mean, there are shopping mall, you know, a lot of things, you know, rolled in one. And it appears a lot of discussions and negotiations might have taken place while amidst these launchings and opening ceremonies in Akure recently. Okay, don't forget that we heard that a lot of this conversation was shared on one hand by Rev.Esther Ajayi, the Deja Akure, and some influential members of Ooni's Gise ruling house and Queen Naomi's family. This is on one hand. Another group was spearheaded by Paropo, you know, Paropo, the father of Ooni Of Ife, former President Obasanjo, and representative from both KBS's close family and Queen Naomi. So what I'm trying to say here is that while amidst all this fanfare, this launching, this opening ceremonies, we are told that before this ceremonies that there were two groups that had conversation with Ooni of Ife. It was an interview between Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi's family. One was led by Rev. Esther Ajayi, the Deji of Akure, and some influential members of both families. Another group, strong group again, was spearheaded by Paropo, the father of our dear Kabisi, and former President Obasanjo and the president of both families. Don't forget who Obasanjo is. I mean, the guy is a heavyweight. When I mean heavyweight, not just politically, but even within the Yoruba race, is a heavyweight any day. So we gathered that both groups sued for peace and called for the coming together for the sake of Tadenikao, you know, Queen Naomi and Kabisi. So what the preponderance of opinion between these two groups was that they have to come together for the good of Tadenikao, for the good of Queen Naomi, and for Kabisi, whose reign and kingdom seems intractably tied to Queen Naomi. I've said this many times before. So we gathered further that it was the fallout of both groups or committees that gave impetus to Tadenikao and Queen Naomi's active participation in the events of the few days in Akure. Starting from the 9th, and which now claimants is that 12th or still going to extend to 13th, I'm not sure now. Okay. At this high level of discussions, you know, involving Paropo, Esther Ajayi, the Deji of Akure, Obasanjo himself, that is Baba Obasanjo, you know, and the Yoruba Council Worldwide. Recall that we did a report on Yoruba Council Worldwide, you know, they were also part of this at some stage. You know, with the galaxy of these high-ranking personalities, it is almost impossible for both of them, I'm talking of Ooni of Ife and Queen Naomi, not to listen to them. So I'm expectedly not too surprised, you know, to see that the much expected reunion eventually took off yesterday by virtue of the appearance of Tadenikao and Queen Naomi in that gathering. Obasanjo calls Reverend Esther his sister. If you watch some of those videos, that is how he calls Reverend Esther. That is to tell you how much, I mean, he reveres her. Okay? And Paropo he called his elder brother. Okay, so don't forget that at the time that the selection of the Ooni of Ife was being made, Paropo, you know, took our dear Kabiyesi to seek President Obasanjo, you know, no, no, to former President Obasanjo at that time, you know, and he told President Obasanjo that this is my candidate. And in the words of Obasanjo in that gathering, he said, the moment Paropo pronounced Kabiyesi as his preferred choice, he said, "This is the choice of the gods," and that was it. So that was the climax, you know, of that campaign that eventually climaxed to Kabiyesi becoming excuse me, sorry, I'm still under the weather, sorry about that. Okay, so that was the beginning of the victory for our dear KBC because he got the support of Obasanjo after the introduction from Paropo. So a lot of us knew so much conversation was going on between both families and friends, but never actually knew that knew some of the details until the appearance of Tadeni Kao and Queen Naomi yesterday in that forum. Do you know this project did not just start yesterday? They all started pre-separation, and they were all for our beautiful Queen Naomi and Tadenikawa before the enemy set in. Yes, you heard me well. This whole thing started while everything was fine, and Ooni of Ife, to be fair to him, that's why sometimes you hear me say Kabiyesi is actually a good man with a clean heart. Imagine he started this project when all was good, and yet, even when things go went bad, he didn't stop. He continued. Okay, and don't forget that initially it was Beru, the brother of Queen Naomi, that started that 20 billion naira project. But eventually, it was emerging controversies, some issues. Eventually, that project was taken away from Beru, but that did not deter. I mean, Kabiyesi, he continued. So that is what happened. I want to see how this whole thing will end. So the question I'm asking is Kabiyesi ready to plunder the number of wives to two or three as advised? Because I saw Runke, I saw Temitope, and I saw Toby so far in this Akure outing. This is already three as a number. So is he going to prune them to these three, or what is really going on? Or is it that there's an understanding now that there are going to be more than three, or they are going to retain all of them, but a place of pride will be restored for Queen Naomi? I don't know. Everything now is just, we are just looking, and so only time will tell. But whatever the eventual outcome, I just want the best for our own dear Queen Naomi. That's all that matters to me right now. Okay, so this is the story we are hearing at this time, and it's really interesting because looking at those pictures that have gone viral, yes, since yesterday, I think we are headed towards the really glorious eventual reunion of these two lovebirds. I can't wait for this to happen. So this is what we are hearing at this time, and I'm so happy to bring it to your doorstep. So what do you think about this developing story? Please kindly leave your comments in the comment section. I'm going to see you soon. God bless you. Bye bye.